So hey guys, today we will revise the chapter skin, the jack of all trades. So, what do you think actually skin is? Skin is the outermost covering of the body. It is stretched all over in the form of a layer. There are many structures and glands derived from the skin. Don't think that skin is just simply a covering of our body. It is one of the most active organs of our body, functioning in numerous ways. The skin is the largest organ of our body. Remember this, it is the largest organ of our body. It accounts for 15% of an adult's human body weight. Primarily, the skin is an almost impermeable barrier. So, it protects us from many things. Actually, protection is the primary function of the skin. There are many other functions of the skin, but first we will discuss about protection. The skin protects us from muscular or mechanical shocks. It protects the underlying tissues. The skin holds the body fluids and prevents excessive loss of water. So this is a very obvious function. The skin prevents body fluids from going out, the blood, the lymph, other body fluids from going out of our body. The skin prevents the entry of harmful disease-causing germs. It protects the body against excess UV light. UV light is potentially very dangerous for our body. The other is sensation, temperature regulation, storage of food, excretion, synthesis of vitamin D, and grip. Now, you will ask me, it is very difficult to remember these, or for most of the students, it is very confusing when you are sitting in the exam hall, you forget about 1 or 2 points. So, I have made a trick. First is the protection. Protection comes from P. Then there is excretion. Then there is sensation. Then there is temperature regulation. Then we have vitamin D. So we will represent it by V. Then we have food. So we will represent it by F. Now there is also another function which is grip. This is not that much important. You will get full marks if you write these 6 points. So if you see, PES is the name of a very famous football game, that is the Pro Evolution Soccer. And TVF is a YouTube channel. Most of us watch it, so you can easily remember this. Protection, excretion, sensation, temperature regulation, vitamin synthesis, and food. The other is grip, but it's not that much important. So, to sum up, skin is an impermeable membrane which protects us from many things like mechanical shocks, disease-causing germs, storage of food. It helps in storage of food, excretion, synthesis of vitamins, grip, etc. So, the other topic comes, what is the skin made up of? What is the skin? Actually, skin is made up of 2 layers, the dermis and the epidermis. Dermis is the main thing and epi means above, so epidermis means above dermis. Note that epidermis has no blood vessels or no nerves. Notice that when we have minor paper cuts, no blood comes out. That is the reason behind this is the cut only penetrates to epidermis. It does not reach dermis where the blood vessels are present. Like here you can see this artery, this runs through that and comes here. It is completed here. It does not go into the epidermis. So if you have a deep cut and it like here the cuts through this artery, then there is serious problem. You start bleeding and you have to rush to your doctor. Now the epidermis has also 3 subparts. Stratum corneum, which is this top part. Okay, I will clean it up a little bit. Okay, this top part, this is you can see with the arrows, the stratum corneum. This is the first part of epidermis, this part. Okay, the second part is the granular layer. This, the top part, you can see there are many cells. The top part of these cells is the granular layer. The other comes is the stratum malpighi. This. This is the main region where the skin cells originate. The skin cells originate here, like you can see here they are very short. So these are the new cells which push up the old cells. As you know, our skin always withers off, so these new cells push off the old skin and form new skin. Now you see the African people are black, the European people are light colored. So what is the reason behind this? The reason behind this is melanin. It's just a compound or a pigment contained in this part, the malpighian layer, this lower part of the skin. This gives us the protection from UV light. Now you know that Africa has very much humid and hot conditions. Sunlight is also very high. So to protect our skin from ultraviolet rays, harmful rays, this melanin the gives the skin black color. So to prevent skin cancer caused by UV light. Whereas in Europe there is not that much heat or sunlight. So the excess melanin is not required. Now, associated with melanin, there are two abnormal conditions. First is leukoderma. We have seen some people with white patches around their body. That is leukoderma. Leukoderma is a condition in which melanin is absent from smaller or larger patches throughout the body. The other is albinism. Albinism is complete disappearance of melanin from our body. This this albinism is caused by genetic inheritance. Some defective genes are transmitted through generations, and this causes albinism. The exact cause of leukoderma, which I mentioned earlier, is not known. Due to albinism, the skin appears pinkish because, as we know, there are these blood vessels lying under the skin. So when the skin has no color, the melanin is absent. So these blood vessels cause the skin to look pinkish. Now with this new diagram, you will be able to see the blood vessels more clearly. Okay, so the next comes dermis. Dermis is an inner thick layer of connective tissue made up of elastic fibers. Dermis, dermis is not that much important, as only thing you need to know that the sensory nerves are present in the dermis, and dermis is full of the derivatives of skin. That is, it has many glands, like I will tell ahead. Now, do you know that the fat which is stored in our skin is actually present below this inside adipose tissues? This subcutaneous fat layer, remember this name, subcutaneous fat, it serves as a shock absorber as well as a food reserve. Now the next topic comes of derivatives of the skin. There are actually 5 derivatives of skin: hair, nail, sebaceous gland, sweat gland, and mammary gland. The only thing you need to know about hair is that hair consists of 3 parts. This is the hair shaft, that is the visible portion above the hair. The root is the part which is embedded in the skin, and the hair bulb is the swollen part. That is it. You only need to remember this about hair. Now, there is a condition which is known as goose flesh. The hair is connected with a muscle known as erector muscle. When this muscle contracts during winter, the hair rises up, which is also known as goosebumps. Yes, you have heard it, goosebumps. That is, in Hindi we say rongte khade ho jana. This is the condition. The other comes the nails. The only thing you need to know about the nails is that nail has 3 parts: plate, bed, and matrix. Matrix is the region where the growth of the nail cells takes place. The other is the sebaceous gland. Now you notice that people have pimples, acne, and blackhead. That is all because of sebaceous gland. These are the naughty glands which gives pimples and acne, which make us to use a lot of face washes and other things. So the reason behind this is that they give out an oily secretion called sebum. Remember this name, sebum, which makes the skin oily and waterproof. You notice that in winters the skin becomes dry because the sebum secretion is less, and in summers that is very oily. Our skin gets very oily because excess secretion of sebum. Now, you only need to remember this about the sebaceous gland, nothing more. Now comes the sweat glands. Uh, I think it is in the diagram. Sebaceous gland. No, yes, they are present here. Yes, see, these open up in the hair follicles. Yeah, these are sebaceous gland. Okay, I made the glands invisible. Now, these glands open up in the hair near the hair shaft, so that it is secreted. So the next come the sweat glands. Sweat glands are called glands. You see these glands. These are the sweat glands. These open up here in the pore. We notice that we have more sweat on the palm. When we write too much, we have more sweaty hands, so gripping the pen is very difficult task. The reason behind this is to increase the surface tension for grip. Humans have evolved in such a way that they have to grip a lot of things. Okay, so this by this we can increase our surface tension. Now the sweat contains about 99% water. Remember, it contains water, salt, and only some traces of urea. That is all about sweat glands. And the other comes the mammary glands. Wait a minute, with the help of diagram I will explain. Just remember that the mammary glands are modified sweat glands. Remember this is very important. These are modified sweat glands. Okay, so this is the structure of the mammary gland. Just go through it. It is not that much important. So we will skip this part. The main thing is that 15 to 20 milk glands open up here. Then we often see that children depend on this milk when they are too young to eat food. So so the other topic comes of the heat regulation by our skin. Our skin has two processes by which it regulates the heat. First is the vasoconstriction, other is vasodilation. Simply, vasoconstriction is the construction, the thinning of the blood vessels. See here, the vessels are thin, here it is thick. Simply, it is just this. Due to cold weather, the blood vessels becomes thin, so that blood supply to the surface may become less and heat given is less. Only this is to be remembered. The other is the vasodilation. In here the blood vessels expand, so much more heat is given out. Okay, just remember this about. Now there are certain processes by which heat is produced in our body. First and the most important is the muscle activity. Muscle activity gives most of the heat. Second is the breakdown of glucose, the chemical reactions going in our body. Third is a small amount of heat from the ingestion of hot foods and beverages. Now it is very confusing to remember in this way. So take this way: you are sitting in a cafeteria, you eat food and drink coffee. Okay, you feel hot because of the heat coming in the food. Okay, you drink coffee and eat food. Okay, then the digestion requires energy, and thus it gives heat. You drink coffee, then eat food, then due to the respiration heat will be evolved. Then you due to the caffeine overdose, you you walk a lot, and then you will start sweating. Thus more heat is produced. This is a simple key to learn the heat production. You eat, you drink coffee, you respire, and then you do a lot of work, so then you produce more heat. Then, as we have read about heat production, we will also learn about heat loss. Heat is lost in four ways, only four ways. Remember these: the skin. The skin, as we have learned in vasodilation and vasoconstriction, heat is radiated away from the skin. The lungs. When okay, this is to be done by you. Take in and breath, and then put a hand in front of your mouth. Then release the air. You will notice that it is hot air. Hot air is released out of our lungs, so the air which is taken in is cold, and the air which is blown out is warm. So the air is warmed by our body heat. Then comes the urine and feces. The excretory material has the same temperature as the body, that is 37 degrees. Okay, then comes the topic of food. Okay, heat is also lost when cold food or water or cold beverages are taken. The trick to this is that you drink food, you no, okay, you eat ice cream and then you drink a milkshake. These are cold. After drinking the milkshake and eating the ice cream, you feel to go to the toilet. Okay, then heat is lost in these things. Okay, then when you were in a toilet, your bus miss, and due to running, your lungs rapidly expanded or contracted. That is, your breathing rate increased. So the point of lungs come. Then the skin, you due to the running, your skin was very dry. That was the winter season. Then you have to apply lotion. Simple trick. Eat cold food, you have to go to the toilet, so your bus miss, your lungs rapidly expand and contracted, and your skin was dry. Remember the short stories and you will remember these. Now, the temperature regulation in the body is conducted by hypothalamus. Remember this name, this is very important, hypothalamus. The other comes in very heat. The heat stroke or sunstroke is a condition in which the production of sweat, when sweat is produced, the rate of this cannot meet the rate of its evaporation. That means the sweat evaporates more than its production. So your body temperature increase and you get a sunstroke. That is all for this heat chapter. If you want to know the book exercises, then I can post it. If you want, comment down below and tell me that. Okay, so also comment down the next chapter you want. This is very important for your 9th class board exams. Do not get very tense, it is very easy. You just study a lot and you will fly off with passing marks. Okay, that is all. Goodbye guys.